Here we are. So, hi, it's Howie Mandel Does Stuff. I'm Howie Mandel.
I'm Jacqueline Schultz.
Hello, I'm Lou.
Try that one more time.
Hello, I'm Lou.
Do it more of a lower, more of a broadcasty.
Hello, this is Lou.
Wow. Okay, so we're all here today, and we were supposed to have a guest.
Yes, we were.
Okay, and I'm noticing, not that, Lou, you're a guest.
I am,
You're a
in
guest.
some ways.
But this is a party where only Lou showed up.
Yes, well, aren't they lucky?
But anyway.
Well, we listened to the audience, and that's what they've been asking for.
Well,
So.
sure they have.
More Lou, just
more
Lou.
Lou.
More Lou?
More Lou, and I can't...
Based on the comments, I think that's what we're getting.
I think that's the essence of what they're saying.
You read some comments last week.
I read them last week.
We got
yes.
answers to some of the comments that you read.
Oh, I'd love to hear them.
No, you don't.
Yes,
no,
I do.
No. Before we get to the... Okay, go ahead. You can go.
I found the ham in the burlap. That was the most common statement in the 1700s.
I found the ham in the burlap.
Yeah. In the 1700s, you heard that almost every day.
Wow. You know what I love about this show is it's kind of like educational along with being entertaining. Like that, you think that that's nothing.
Right.
But I would imagine millions of people in the next few weeks when they're attending parties will use that piece of information or as a what do you call it when a conversation starter.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I like to, here's a tip for people, because in case they
Or
are
to
looking,
hit on people.
Huh?
You think that's a good opening line?
Yeah.
I've been married for so many years and I have
I
not.
don't tell Alex. Alex is always looking for good opening lines.
I
Alex?
found the ham
Yeah.
in the burlap.
Alex, you're still single.
Yes.
Did you hear that line?
I've never used it. I just heard.
No, but
Try it.
let me hear just, Caroline is standing right there. I know this is just a pretend, but you're at a bar or you're someplace, you're at a club, you see a beautiful young lady there with the red hair, and you say,
Hi.
And then I say, bye.
Bye.
And then I'm still single.
no, use Lou's line, see if it works.
What was it again? I forgot.
I found the ham in the burlap.
I'm gonna find my ham in your burlap.
No, no, goodbye. Now say bye.
Oh,
Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right.
And also a tip for people that, you know, if you have a gift you want to give somebody.
That's why pronouns are so important now. Is
Why?
your in your as opposed to okay, go ahead.
No,
Lou.
no, you go ahead.
No, you.
Okay, I'm giving a tip to the folks out there, and this could work for any holiday or birthday. To make a homemade gift is really the best kind of gift. And for example, last Christmas, I made homemade zippers, and people really, really appreciate them.
I actually would appreciate that because I was going to wear other shoes today and my zippers were broken. So now I had to throw away those shoes.
Well, they don't fit anything.
Wait a second. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
You're so spoiled.
The zipper was broken. I can't zip it up. How am I supposed to use the shoes?
You go to a shoe repair.
They were cheap shoes.
Shoe repair is even cheaper.
I bet you, no, I got them on Amazon for like $14.
Okay.
I bet you it would cost more money.
Call Caroline. Get me a number right now to a local shoe repair. I want to know. I want to find out how much zipper replacement is on a shoe or a boot.
Okay, 1 second.
And
All right,
while
you'll
you're
get-
doing
and
that,
well, yeah, go ahead.
I want to say that I could have been a narcissistic, sociopathic psychopath. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Okay. So, and I also have some announcements, audience. The lovely people of Croatia and Lebanon and Trinidad. Merch is up.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know this.
I know.
Is that what this is?
Yeah. Look at that. That's a mug. Wait. Let me make the announcement again. Is there do we have like a
Merch
make
music?
like the trombone sound or the
Dun,
very
dun, dun.
dramatic?
No.
No.
It's not a good one.
No.
Unless I say something.
Yeah. That one's okay.
That's not. Okay, that's it. Our merch is here. Woo, here are the crickets. We have the mug. Show the mug.
Do stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, because when you have your coffee, you automatically feel
When you're
energized.
caffeinated,
Yeah, to do stuff.
You will
You'll
do stuff, and that's what everybody needs to do all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we have shirts, and to match your mug, we have the Do Stuff shirts.
Love it.
Wait, Alex, did you make
Love
that?
it.
Alex, did you make that? No?
No.
I did?
No. Wait. Now, first you say, Alex.
Because
did you-
I did make a whole merch store that we never even used or announced, and it. Never
This was
mind.
something different.
This, what?
You didn't tell me that.
I have a whole merch store.
You do?
A whole. Go look at it.
Wait,
Well, why didn't you tell us?
I told you, and then you guys go to JackieSchultz.com.
Oh, well, that's not.
No, because I was trying to get him to change it over to Howie Mandel. I just happened to have that domain.
You got to tell us.
Look, go down.
Oh.
Go.
Oh, go down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Event stuff.
So we'll sell that
Stuff.
stuff too.
No, it's okay. Show us your stuff.
No, this
Just show
is
us your
good
stuff.
too.
Event
Can
stuff.
we sell this stuff too?
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
no, it's okay.
Alex.
anything you want.
Yeah. So anyway, we have stuff. Let's move that over to our site.
We'll figure it out. Anyways, go on. Show
Okay,
them what
so
else
we
you
have. Well, look at those. That's pretty cool. You put those up, the event stuff and that stuff, and that way you can say do stuff, or you could just put stuff on the front and the back.
Nice
So we
stuff.
have that do stuff, right?
Yeah.
T-shirt there,
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
and then we have. Did you mention the mug?
Yeah, there's Do Stuff mug. We already said that.
Oh, they come in different colors. The do stuff.
What
shirt.
do you do to get this stuff?
Oh,
You click on stuff, right?
it's a lot
You
of
can
stuff.
find it all at howiemandel.com.
That's better than JackieSchultz.com.
Well, how would people know?
I asked to switch it over.
Did you notice that nobody heard you and nobody did it?
Last week when you were
Who did you ask?
you guys when you were talking about what to put
You
on
can't
the
say
merch.
you guys. You got to go specifically.
You and Alex were both standing there about what to put on the merch.
Let's
and
not
I said,
fight. We are on the air.
have no-
Let's not. We have to get along.
All
Your
right,
family.
whatever.
And then there's this one too.
Oh, I don't have that. That's good. This is the official merch for Howie Mandel's podcast. Howie Mandel does stuff with his daughter, Jacqueline Schultz. That's
a
my
winner.
favorite.
That's a winner.
That's my favorite. You should put Ann Lou on the back.
Well, no, this is perfect for now. You don't want to not sell them.
Okay.
No, that's good. And, yeah, and maybe we'll make them. Anyway, so there's merch. Go get some merch. Take pictures of yourself with the merch.
What are you laughing at?
What is going on, Alex?
What are you laughing at?
Is that laugh or
Can
is
you,
it?
what?
Do you wear in Portugal?
Did you spell
Can you
something
tell
wrong?
us something?
Just hold up the shirt again.
Did you spell something wrong?
Did I?
No, it's just punctuation's important. Turn it around. So I can see
Wait,
it.
no, I want to see this.
There's no punctuation.
I know.
This
So
is the
it just says
offi-
Howie Mandel does stuff with his daughter, Jacqueline Schultz.
Oh, people could take it the wrong way. Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Everybody's laughing but me. But anyway, that's on the merch store right now.
I want a shirt with a chip bag that has a picture of Lou on it.
Yeah. Hey, do you wear in
But
Portugal?
we could do that.
Yeah, with a chip bag. But if you purchase, I want to say to the people at home first a minute. If you purchase any of the merch, what you will do is take a picture of yourself in the merch, and we will feature it on the podcast and on my socials and
You
things like that.
repost on your Twitter.
Hmm?
People are always trying to get on your Twitter. You can repost it on your Twitter.
We could do it on Twitter too. Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
And how
I'm
about
full of ideas.
MySpace.
No, Twitter's not weird. Twitter's not the
No,
same as MySpace.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on
Twitter.
Yeah.
Does the show air in Portugal?
I don't know. Jeremy?
Everywhere.
Jeremy?
Everywhere.
Because
Yes.
somebody came up to me the other day and told me that my name in Portuguese is pronounced Herman.
Is that real?
Oh, okay. So here I'm gonna call the shoe repair. Okay. I wanna know, like, my spoiled daughter.
It's not spoiled.
Yeah, it is.
Is it spoiled?
I think it is.
Oh.
I think if you have a pair of shoes and you break a zipper and you throw out shoes.
First of all, I've had them for like 5 years.
No, that's not
Oh,
spoiled.
sugar
It's,
pan.
Yeah, hi. I want to ask you a question. If I had a pair of shoes or a pair of boots and the zipper broke on the shoes or the boots, just roughly, I'm not asking you to stick to it, how much does it cost to repair a zipper on a shoe?
How big is the zipper? How long is the zipper? We have different prices, yeah.
How long
I
is
can
your
give you a
zipper?
price by
6
So
inches?
size doesn't matter. 6
6
inches?
inches, yeah.
The average. 6 inches.
6 inches. What color is it?
Silver.
Silver?
Uh-huh.
Is it metal or plastic?
Metal.
I don't know. We have the same kind of zipper. You need to bring it in. We need to see.
But
We-
roughly, I'm just
we have
asking
it.
roughly what kind of cost. I'm just deciding whether it's worth to throw out the shoe or replace the zipper. So just tell me in the ballpark.
Okay, that's about $28,
Thank,
25.
thank you.
Can I ask him a quick question? Because
Can you talk to Lou for a second, sir?
I make homemade zippers.
Yeah.
Just wanted you to know.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Bye.
Sure, you're welcome.
Bye.
I used to have to
$28.
teach my kindergartners the difference between a question and a statement when I was teaching.
It's only the tone on the last word, isn't it? You just you go up on the last word.
Well, you know what I saw the other day? A pair.
Whatever you were looking
A
at.
pair of cat's pajamas that had bee's knees. They were fucking awesome.
Yeah. Anybody who was born in the 20s will be laughing now at that joke. You had to.
So you see,
he's
it
moved
costs
from the
more?
1700s with his burlap and ham. Really.
I'm working my way up.
And if you continue to listen to
To
this
the modern
podcast, in 2 years from now, that episode he'll be talking about this century, earlier this century.
I
So
have
tell
something-
me, wait. Can we just come to a conclusion? I bought these shoes, I think, on Amazon for less than $20 5 years ago. Do you think I should bring it in to replace a zipper for roughly $30?
No.
Kyle says yes.
No, I
No.
say no.
No, why? You're spoiled too, Caroline.
I say no. It's a no. Get yourself a new.
I don't
damn
think you
pair
throw
of
out shoes. Here's what I would do. I would even spend. Here's what I would do.
I know you don't think so. I've seen your closet.
I know I don't throw anything.
You don't throw
out.
out anything.
No, but here's what I would do.
Yeah.
If the zipper was broken, I would go spend $28, fix the zipper, and give it to a homeless person on the street.
Ah,
but no,
well, now-
you don't think of anybody but yourself.
That's a good way to take
They're
care of it.
heels.
right. And homeless people don't wear heels.
That's right. They wear long hair and beards because I think that's the style for them. If they're all wearing the long hair and beard look.
I don't know how to even respond to that.
Nobody does.
No.
Let me just say this.
Oh no.
I want to bring something into the 21st century. And I write movies. I write a lot of movies. And I just finished coming up with a new idea for a movie. And it's about a guy, and he's invisible. And the difference is that this guy, he's bald. It's called The Invisible Bald Man. So it's got a little bit of a hook because he's a
right,
invisible.
because the Invisible Man originally had hair.
Yeah, this is the Invisible Bald Man.
So it's a visible man with an invisible hairline.
He's invisible and bald. That's my point. That's why it's different.
Right.
You got to be different.
That is good. You see why we need guests on the show?
And I have a new band.
Okay. You have a new band?
Yeah, it's
Do we
called,
really not have a guest today?
I'm gonna go. I will.
You regrettably
I
will.
will. So here's what I'm gonna do. Honestly, here's what we should do. Next door in the studio, that's where they shoot Ridiculousness. And I've never met Rob Dyrdek in my life, but I
Rob Dyrdek.
love the guy. What?
Love him.
Yes. What's your favorite thing that he's done?
He does this thing called Absolutely Ridiculous.
Nope. I could tell
You know
don't-
that show,
he
though,
doesn't-
Ridiculousness, is on every night
Ridiculousness.
over and over and over again. I feel like it's the most syndicated show on MTV. No? It
I
has
think
to be.
he owns MTV at this point.
Yeah.
But anyway, they shoot next door.
Oh.
In fact, you have been on. They showed a clip of Alex, your brothers,
Mm-hmm.
when he dropped the balloon from the.
Is that the clip? Yeah.
Yeah, and with Kobe. Kobe was on it and commented. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we could show that clip now.
He got so much
I
hate
have
for
to
that.
send it to you.
All
He
right.
got so much hate for that clip, too.
Yeah, you did dropping it, and yet you continued to post it,
Bob Bedenik did?
don't you? What?
Bob Bedenik got a lot of hate for that?
Who's Bob Bedenik?
the guy you're going to interview?
You know what? I was going to send you to go ask Rob if he wants to be on the
Rob,
show.
okay, Rob.
But I'm not going to send you. I'm going to go myself. We can capture it. Seth, does anybody have an iPhone? You can go follow me. Does anybody have an iPhone?
Dumbest
Speaking of
question.
iPhones for a minute,
Yeah.
Alex had a party the other day in Marina Del Rey. And one of the girls at the party fell in the water. That's
Wow.
the ocean.
Yes.
And lost her iPhone.
Wow.
This is not a joke. I was there the next morning.
Tragic.
Well, they hired a diver because she lost her wallet too. They hired a diver to go to the bottom of Marina Del Rey, of the marina, and try to find her wallet and her phone and her keys and her lipstick.
Wow.
He found it all. This is the next morning.
Yeah.
The phone still worked. There's still a quarter. I dropped a quarter, a penny.
I found the quarter.
You found the quarter?
I found 2 quarters.
Okay, and I also dropped my toothpick. Oh, there it is. Is that the quarter he found? Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, the lipstick. That's my question because
Yes, but now it's a shade. It used to be red, but now it's got a little bit of sea lion shit brown tone added onto that.
so the iPhone is a phone that apparently you could also use underwater. Is what you're saying.
Have you ever been underwater and thought, oh, you know who I should call?
I need to make a
A
phone call.
lifeguard. But anyway, the thing that I'm thinking, if they're taping right next door, we could just walk down the street unannounced and ask, if nothing else, he'll tell me to go fuck myself.
Which
Right?
might be good too.
Either way, this is exciting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask us to get up from here, and will you guys start your phone, follow me down the street, and let's see if Rob Dyrdek will be
Dyrdek.
what?
Dyrdek.
Dyrdek.
It's Bob.
Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah.
You don't know who this is.
I have no fucking idea.
I love him.
He's one of my favorites.
Well, good luck getting that guy.
Yeah. Who?
The guy from Ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a ridiculous idea. what
Who's your
you're
favorite person on MTV?
doing. You know the one I
He's
really
gonna say
like
Carson Daly.
is Spooky. The name is Spooky. That's the nickname. I Spooky Johnson.
Spooky
Yeah,
Johnson.
Spooky Johnson. And Spooky is very scary guy.
So knowing that and knowing that you're such a fan of Spooky Johnson's,
right.
when we go next door and we talk to Rob, if he's willing to do the show, we'll ask him to get a Spooky Johnson autograph for you.
That would be fucking awesome.
All right, follow me if you will.
Okay,
Let's go.
I'll see.
Because a lot of people will book guests through agents and stuff. I go door to door. That's the beauty of me. The thing is, I'm doing a show next door, and I don't have a guest. So I'm trying to get Rob to come next door and do my podcast. I love Rob. You know, this is Ridiculousness that he's taping here, and the fact that I don't have a guest and I just go next door and say, will you be on the podcast is ridiculous. Can you hear him? He's got him on the walkie-talkie. Howie Mandel. I heard them. Now they're saying it there.
Yeah.
Hi. Howie Mandel.
Hi, Howard.
Is Rob here?
What's up? Yeah, we're in the middle of filming.
Oh, you're in the middle of filming.
What's going on?
I'm doing a podcast.
Are you doing a podcast?
Yeah.
Right on. You over there?
Does he have a couple minutes?
See what I can do. What do you call us?
Say that again. I can't hear you. There's a jet.
You're doing a podcast right now?
I'm doing a podcast right now.
So
Yeah.
you know Rob personally?
Yeah, we're really good friends. Hello? Rob? Howie Mandel. Hey, buddy.
Howie,
I'm a huge fan of yours, buddy.
well, how do you know? How are you here?
Well, right next door, I do a podcast. This is my son, Alex. Say hi, Alex.
Hey.
Hello.
I'm doing a podcast, and I don't have a booker. Like, I didn't hire any. I don't have a
Mandel
staff. Like,
doesn't have a book.
I got nothing. You want to come next door and do a podcast?
I mean, did you know we were on lunch?
No.
No?
So bring us a sandwich or something. You want to come?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All
I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Come on. So it's just a. You have a minute?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Whatever. Tell them to call you. I don't care how long. You want to come?
I guess so.
Wow.
I want to roll with Howie for a bit, I guess. I guess. Man, it smells like weed in here. Howie, you didn't bring weed, didn't you?
That's ridiculousness. Whatever we want to go.
Yeah.
Hi.
Great. It's great. Hello. Oh, you're part of the show.
Yeah, everything. That's show already started. This is Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel does stuff, and you are. Tell him on the mic.
Jacqueline
great.
Schultz.
And that's my buddy Lou, by the way.
Hello.
How are you, Lou?
How are you?
Really good. Man.
Okay, and this is everybody knows Rob Dyrdek, who
Out
I
of breath.
well because
We're running and gunning.
I just went next door because somebody said we don't have a guest today. They always say that.
Yeah.
And I said, well, did anybody phone anybody? And they said, nobody phoned anybody. And then they said, well, he tapes Ridiculousness right next door. So as luck would have it.
And it wasn't enough just to have your daughter with you. You had to go get a guest.
Oh, you're jealous of the guest?
A
Man,
little
look.
jealous.
You know what? I
Look.
got to tell you something, Rob, before
You're
we get
lucky.
talking.
You guys are lucky.
She was on your show. We should show that clip, Jeremy. You don't know.
Man, yeah, tell me.
At her wedding.
To the young Mr. Schultz.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She drank a lot. And she was puking in the. Do you guys?
And
should
was
pull
that
it up,
real or
the-
was
the
that
video
fake?
from Ridiculousness?
No, it was real.
Real.
It was real.
Real.
I got
God,
to.
Real.
man, this is
So you do
making me so
Ridiculousness. Is that the one? Who was the guest on that one? So that he can look up the episode.
Alex was on it too.
You feel better? What did you do tonight?
Alex, you can't leave me now because we're married.
You're the bride, right? Yeah. And talk about how beautiful tonight was.
I have urine all over my chin.
Okay. He don't even love her. He ain't holding her hair. He ain't lifting her seat up. No. They gonna be divorced in no time. I'll tell you what I will do is I will film you, okay? So that you can understand how you ruined my wedding.
Alex was on it. God, man.
I love you,
Man,
Rob.
you're making. Look,
family
this.
puke session is what I'm
Look.
hearing.
No, she threw up in the bridal suite after the and you made fun of the fact that we were videotaping it. She called me. She got married. They went off to their room after the wedding, and then her husband called me and said, Howie, you got to get back here. I mean, I've just given away the bride. Don't give him back. This is no returns on this.
Man.
And then he said she's sick, and we had to hold her hair while she was puking, which is
Nothing
great.
makes you puke like puke.
This is a very, very true statement. It's a very true statement.
But this guy, you are the king of clip shows.
Sorry.
Yeah, who would have thought? You know what I mean? Who would have
would've thought?
thought you could create a legacy of clip shows?
But here's the thing. I didn't realize until the walk over here. Rob has an amazing life philosophy.
That's correct.
As far as how you compartmentalize your work. I said to him,
Tell me.
well, this is great. First of all, in the greeting, he went, I'm living the fucking dream. So here's a guy that appreciates it and doesn't take it for granted. You want to tell me the philosophy that you have?
Well, look, number one, I live an extraordinary life. But on all levels, right? And it's because I have complete harmony in all the systems that integrate in my life, right? Because your life is basically made up of all these systems. And I have essentially mastered time, energy, and capacity. Right. And so part of that is really designing the life that you want to live and growing into becoming the ideal version of yourself. And that's really what I've done. Now, television is what people would mainly know me for from the mainstream point of view, but it's a side hustle. And I do shoot 250 episodes a year. I did build and sell a production company for a significant amount of money as part of, my true passion, which is building and selling businesses, where I've built and sold since 2016, 19 businesses, sold 6 of them, right? It's my true passion.
Wait, you've built 19 businesses.
That's correct.
What are the
And,
different businesses?
I have a plant-based snack food company called Outstanding Foods that does a pigless pork rind. I
eat food.
Look, you would love the pigless pork rind. It's called Pig Out with Bay the Pig. You would love it. Mind Right, Nootropic Superfood, Luso Cloud, Comfort Footwear, Black Feather Whiskey.
Are those your own? No, that's a Nike.
No,
This is a Nike Presto. This is a Nike
Is that a
Presto.
collab?
No, just for fun.
But you have your own shoe company.
Yeah,
Or
I do.
you sold
I
it?
do. No. I'm just in the middle of building that. It's our beauty. Looked at the marketplace, the $3.5 billion in market sales between Clarks, or between Uggs, Crocs, and Birkenstock, and said, hey, I could make a nicer luxury version that's just as ugly. And I built Luso Cloud. That's one of
gotta
the
be
big
able to
ones
make
that we've
something.
launched.
So you've sold how many companies?
Sold 6, a little over 500 million since we launched it in 2016. And the idea is I built a system to curate ideas, individuals, and build it into profitable, sustainable, acquirable businesses. That's what I do most of my time. Again, I track everything I do every single day.
Did you study business?
I did not. I quit high school at 16 years old,
like you.
and I had to learn this the hard way. I learned this by losing millions of dollars in trial and error of building mini companies.
But
including-
apparently you had millions to lose. So
I did. Man, I tell you what.
did you grow up with money?
I did not. I grew up with nothing, and
Where you from?
and from Dayton, Ohio.
Right.
You know, but I was raised by entrepreneur wolves, right? The young kids that I hung out with had started companies in their teen years.
So
and
skateboarding wasn't your first thing.
It was skateboarding was my first outlet because I befriended a serial entrepreneur who owned the local skate shop. Then I started being around pros and other things and got really good. And then I turned pro and quit high school at 16. But I digress.
Okay.
And where I track every bit of time in my day, and I live this beautiful balanced life where I spend, 30% sleeping, 10% on my health, 30% with my wife and kids and friends, right? Then I work 30%. And so when you're managing your capacity, you have two options. You either hire somebody, do less, or you automate it. So I built this incredible, highly automated existence that allows me to do a significant amount of things with least amount of effort, right? And that's where I've automated ridiculousness in a way to produce and shoot 250 episodes a year. It takes 4% of my total time, right?
Wait, 250 episodes takes 4%?
That's right. That's right. And
And that's
again,
probably the thing that people know you, at least in America, know you most for.
well, I would say it's what people mostly know me for, period, just because, it's 60, 70% of the entire network. I've been on the network for 15 years.
Have you been asked to be on Shark Tank? Because you seem like the
the
Mark Cuban of the
I think
younger
they've,
generation.
They've dabbled with all those different, they try to get me on all the different sort of things. But again, I'm not like a TV host. They try to get me to host network shows and different things. I did shoot a business pilot for NBC. That was going to be one of my bigger sort of integrated marketing like hero stories, but the pilot didn't get picked up. It didn't have the heart of Shark Tank.
Right.
I was too focused on making the brilliant back end business side of it. But yeah, to me it's still.
You've been talking to me for what, 3 minutes now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am so bowled over by you are not who I thought you were.
Yeah.
And you are so much more than I thought you were.
I noticed that you have a business where you're looking for entrepreneurs, kind of like Shark Tank, right? Where you
Right.
facilitate their business ideas and help them grow.
Yeah, like on my podcast, I have people that pitch me business ideas and I give them advice in both life strategy and business strategy. But I call it my venture studio. It's a venture creation studio where I only build businesses from the idea stage. So I let people pitch me ideas because that's where I like to create. Let's make the name. Let's build the business.
I got an idea.
What do you got?
Can you lend me $11?
I could lend you every
That's an
bit
idea.
of money I have. Only I don't have a wallet on me. I don't have a wallet on me
give you
right now.
I feel like he's exactly like you in the sense
No,
where
you are so. I
you-
got to tell you, and I'm not saying this because we're on the podcast. I'm not
Yeah.
saying this because I'm a fan. You are fucking blowing me away at this
Yeah.
moment. And
I'm proud of this, that your family's all around you this entire time too. It makes me very happy.
Well,
I
because,
was going to say
Go
that
ahead.
too, because I notice when I watch your shows, and I don't know you at all, but I've watched your shows a lot, and I see that you employ and you work with mostly family members and really, really close friends, right? Like, so you try to help them out, and all your businesses you employ. Was it your cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, that's the wrong image.
Is it?
You know what I mean?
Is it?
You know what I mean?
He's talking about being entrepreneurial.
Look.
Nepotism is not the key
Look,
to success.
My cousin is his own beast, and built a $50-60 million company, and built a new one that's worth over $100 million now.
What is
I
that?
own none of it, right?
Fuck
but,
him. Fuck him.
But he makes me so proud when I say
What is the $100
family,
million business?
He had built Young and Reckless clothing, and then he built a game called Winners. We Are Not Really Strangers, a card game with his girlfriend, right? Another really successful blowing up card game.
You're missing the E in winners. We are not really strangers. Winners is.
It's the kids, man. I didn't do it. It's these kids. You know what I mean? That Gen Z.
just saying.
You know that Gen Z.
I'm just
You know.
saying. I also
Me and
want-
you, we're from the same era. We put all the vowels
the
in there.
letters.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna write a
I would
winner.
love to work with you in some way.
Yeah,
in some
look,
capacity.
yeah.
I love being. I'm much more entrepreneurial than I am creative.
Yeah.
And I love. My background is in retail and real estate, and I do this. And you called it a side hustle. It is a side hustle, and I work with my family. I'm not as. You're very. Specific on the percentages of time and things like you've got. I'm not that mathematical. I didn't work it out, but I love working and I love family. And we found ways to spend time, that percentage that you spend with your family, I could spend time with my family. But at the same time, I could be creative and entrepreneurial so we can all work together.
And it's aspirational too, right? My kids are 4 and 5, right? So it's like when
well, it goes like that. Enjoy it, buddy.
Yeah, and it's like when I think about like when you get to this level of when your goal was to master time, energy, and capacity, right? Capacity was the thing that I had to really learn, because at the end of the day, you just have the same amount of time every day, and your life ends up in these rhythms, right? And how you create those rhythms and then over time optimize the time that you actually have all leads to the highest quality of life, right? And being able to spend time with your family, and really for me it's chase energy. How do I go from thing to thing to thing that I enjoy and is fulfilling, and then either hire or automate the things that draw energy from me, right? So you end up, when I say I live an amazing life, it's not I'm just a positive guy. I am overwhelmed with like, how is this my life on like a daily basis?
Do I not always say this? I'm always standing back and going, but here's another perspective. It's not as positive. It's just like there doesn't seem to be enough time. I'm about to be 66 this year.
Yeah.
And I remember my 20s like it was yesterday. And I feel like, and I have a tendency to kind of look back and go, I wasted that fucking emotion. And I wasted that time when I could have been doing something. For the most part, I have chased things that I've liked and have been fulfilling and, have had some success. But if I can impart anything, it is about time. Time is our currency. It really is. If you have the time and you could figure out how to make that time, that dollar, inflate that moment, make that 250 episodes of Ridiculousness only 4% of your time, that sounds like almost impossible, but it's amazing that you're able to do that.
But think if you used 8% of your time, you could have like 300,000, right? Or how many do you do a year?
250.
You could do like 325. If
Look,
you did.
He's our show mathematician.
Yeah. Look,
and also I want to say I have an entrepreneurial, spirit, right? And I have many personalities, and just now I was informed that one of them is for sale.
Okay. What's the value? What is the going rate for one of your personalities?
$11.
Oh, man.
He just
I
needs
wish
that
I had a
11.
wallet. I
Me
wish
too.
I had a wallet.
Can I ask you something just
Sure.
as a parent, from a parent to a parent? So what are you going to do to make sure that your kids also grow up with that same knowledge, entrepreneurial?
Or just the appreciation for maybe achieving something and not wasting too much time and feeling, it seems like every element of what you're doing is geared toward the positive.
Yeah, but think about it. Like when you begin, there is no regret inside mastering time, right? Because time begins to slow down and you're setting intentions and achieving those intentions with purpose. You're growing into life as you've envisioned it, right? So it's very rewarding, fulfilling, and it goes at a much slower pace.
Well, the difference between you and most people you talk to, most people are looking external. You're saying you're growing into the life you deserve. If you ask anybody where they are now and they're not happy with what's happening and what's surrounding them, they're always blaming external forces, right?
Correct.
The government, my boss, the industry, they're fucking with me. It's never about you. I think the key is you understand that it all comes from within you.
Yeah, and again, it's the harmony in your own personal systems, your habits, your way of living, your relationships, all these things that make up all of these moving parts that make up who you are, right? And so how do I instill that in my children? And first of all, it's like I'm super present, right? In my children's life, I've never not gone to a doctor's appointment. I take them to school every single day, except for on the days that I shoot. But get them up from nap, take them all. It's like the experience of what it is from me as a father is there at all times, right? But then I'm only trying to instill the core value of the cycle of learning and how special learning is, right? And this is all the way to my 5-year-old son learning to fix the toilet, right? Where at first I'm like, this is learning. This is how it's amazing. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't understand.
Your 5-year-old son to fix the toilet?
That's right.
What does he charge? Because mine
The Dyrdek toilet training is...
Hey, he charges $11. So, but
Potty training is a lot different in a lot of
In
other
the Dyrdek
households.
house.
Yeah.
but look at this. This kid.
He shit all over the carpet, but he can do the plumbing like that.
But look, this kid now fixes the toilet every time it breaks. And what is he? He's like, oh, it's amazing. I can do it so easy. I'm like, that's what life is. That's growth. That's what the joy of learning is. I'm just trying to instill that like everything about life is growing and learning and evolving. And you've got to just put a flag in the ground of what that is and then learn to do
Sounds
it.
like so much work. Do you do TED Talks?
I don't.
This is a TED Talk.
You know what I mean?
It's really.
It doesn't sound like work. It sounds like
Sounds like work.
no. What he's saying, you say it sounds so
It's
obvious.
effortless.
And it's right in front of us, and everybody has those opportunities. It's just not how we're wired.
Right. It's actually how we're wired, but we don't look at how to design our systems.
What did your
because,
parents do? What did they do?
My dad sold suits. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My mother told me, like, you shouldn't be a pro skateboarder. You got to go to college. You can't quit. Look, I'm worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. My mother said to me 3 days ago, she listened to a podcast where I said that I quit high school. And she's like, I don't know why you keep saying that. Everyone's going to think you're a loser. They're going to think you're a loser skater. And I'm like, that ship has sailed. You know what I mean? Like, they're more like, man, he didn't even finish high school and look at all that he's doing. They're not like concerned. She still in her mind is like embarrassed that she let me leave high school at 16 years old.
Even with all the success.
All of the 30 years later. You know what I
Do
mean?
you regret that now? I mean,
No.
you're not encouraging.
He's got
people-
hundreds of millions of dollars.
No,
He just told you how happy he is.
But
Yeah.
you're not endorsing people not finish high school.
Yeah, look, I
think that he's endorsing people living the dream that he is living. If you have
Or
a
that
passion
they
for
can live.
something, and it's not about quitting. See, it's not about quitting. He didn't quit. He moved on to something else. It's not like that's the negative.
That's a really good point.
I don't want to go to school. Okay, you don't want to go. What do you want to do? You can't just say I don't want to go to school.
Yeah, and it wasn't that. I had became a professional skateboarder at 16 and went to Europe for the World Championships and got
had something
fourth
to
in
fall
like
back on,
the
is what
World
you're saying.
Championships. Well, also keep in mind in that year I did make for the year $842, and I sold one signature board in December of 1991. So my salary for that month was $2. You know, so a pro skateboarder
You know what's
in
interesting?
1991 was not nearly as
We were
lucrative as it is today.
Jackie and I were talking yesterday, and Jackie was a teacher for 10 years and taught in elementary school. And I said that our education system is fucked because big time. There's no. I think it's a way. I think life is too short, and I think to spend 18 or 20 years in school, I'll just say it, in our system that we have now is a waste of fucking time. Because once you learn to read, and once you learn to write, and once you learn to add and subtract, that gives you the tools to make a decision about what you're passionate about. You know, they're not teaching you anything, or they're not giving you the information. Like when you're learning calculus, you go, what the fuck do I do with this? Yep. Or you're learning something about history, you go, if you're passionate about history and you want to learn that, I think we should be able to make the choices earlier than they allow you to. Like they don't teach anybody economy.
Yeah, and look, I think there's all that fundamental stuff that you get no fundamental skills when you pop out of there. But the beauty of school is it's systematic evolution, right? Like you actually are living inside this beautiful framework where you get to grow year over year and evolve inside a system, right? So the way that school is set up, it's actually this beautiful framework for you to evolve inside and grow and learn. It's just what's taught inside that system is antiquated for the time, right? It was back then, it was really just get a nice general knowledge base. You're just learning to be structured and go through testing systems that basically got you ready for the workforce, right? And as we've evolved into being able to what opportunity presents itself at this day and age is so different that that same system needs to actually teach you life skills,
right? And
it's like I gotta go through the process of putting my children in private schools right now. I gotta go through. I had to write a whole thing this morning about my application for my kids, and had to write all this story, and all this. But when I went and toured these schools, they have the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset in kindergarten. And to me, like, just that mentality to my 5-year-old of like, here's the difference of always growing and evolving versus being fixed. Because I grew up in a fixed mindset household, went to a fixed mindset school, raised by fixed mindset parents around fixed mindset family that all told me everything that I ever wanted to do wasn't possible. And if I wanted to achieve, I'd have to go to college to get a little bit better job than getting a job right out of high school, right?
Have you ever made a stupid purchase, a purchase you regret?
Well, I do own a time machine. You know, I don't know if I regret it. The guy who sold it to me eventually went on to say that I was an alien. When I tried to ask him, I couldn't get back to 1952. He said, "You're an alien. I know you. You're an alien."
Oh, so he said you fucked up?
Yeah,
Did you really buy a time machine?
I did. Yeah.
Tell me how that was sold.
There's a gentleman by the name of Art Bell. He had a talk radio show. And,
I know that guy. Yeah.
And so I would listen to it all the time. And there was a guest, the great Stephen Gibbs, and he had created the hyperdimensional resonator, which was a time machine. And he was talking through the entire process of what it's like to go through time and all these different things. And I was like, this is fascinating. So he was talking about getting the time machine catalog. I was going to order the catalog. And then at the very end of the show, I wrote down the address. And then when at the very end of the show, it was like, how much is it? It was $375. And so I FedExed him a check. I'm like, I need one. And
$374 for a time machine.
Oh, and it
That's a
showed
good
up,
price.
and it's like
You know why? Because he built it probably in the 1800s. That's like $5 million. It's inflation.
Yeah, and look, and he in our first conversation was amazing. He was like, "Okay, a couple things I got to warn you about. If you clean your garage, you might come back and it's dirty again, stuff like that. Maybe
shit.
someone you knew in the past died." And I'm like, this, me and him talk so casually about time travel after I got it
Right.
that was freaked out a little bit, like, damn, I don't know if I'm ready to travel through time, And of course I asked, what do you think, like, could you go back and get lottery numbers? He was like, oh, when you go through the zero vector point and you go through God,
I was going to say
you're never going to want you're never going to want anything material ever again. Then I was really freaked out, right? And I laid it on my chest.
Wait, I want to hear
travel through time, and I just passed out. So I don't know. It could be. Look, this amazing life that I have right now at the Howie Mandel does stuff show with the kids and friends. Like, this could be time travel. You know what I'm saying?
Did you get in the machine?
No, it's literally like a box that you sit on the side and you put like a phone cord around your head and you put like a magnet on your chest.
How did you know
And
you
did you
weren't going to
pass
get
out?
zapped?
Look, I was young.
Did
I
you
was
pass
rolling
out?
the dice.
Did you pass out?
I did. I was drunk though when I tried to do the first one. You know what I mean?
He just came up with a new name for your show.
What's that?
Howie Mandel does stuff with kids and friends.
You know what? That sounds like something you can get arrested for.
Yeah, never mind.
I bought 2,400 square feet once,
Yeah.
and I regret it because it's so hard to find shoes.
That he made his own sound effect.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, guys, I gotta go finish
You gotta go.
shooting television.
You are so fascinating, and you're a wonderful guy. I will give you when you leave here. I'll give you my number. I would love you to call me, and I would love to just even off air. Just
Dad, he
talk
already
to-
has his percentages worked out. He doesn't have time for you.
Oh yeah, didn't can I fit into?
Hey, we could squeeze in a 0.005%.
Okay. All right, you are the best, buddy. I love your shows. I love what you do. But from today, I love your philosophy, and I love your lifestyle, and I love you. Have you written a book?
I'm in the middle of writing a book.
I'm going to buy the book.
The Machine Mindset, systematically fusing art, science, and magic to live an amazing life.
That's the
That's
title.
the title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is the cover? you better find a little font.
How big
Yeah.
is the cup?
Anyway, you're the best. Go back to do TV. Thank you for being a good sport.
Thank you.
You're amazing. If you ever need me for anything, just come down the street, knock on the door, and I'll show up.
It's too sketchy down here.
Really?
No, just kidding.
Yeah, we're in Van Nuys, California, the porn hub of the world.
This is it.
I didn't know that.
It smells sketchy in here.
Does it? Oh, that's Lou.
I just
Thanks,
sketched.
buddy. All right. So we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Booyah!
Just, wow.
That was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I forgot to ask him about Spooky Johnson.
I know, but it truly was amazing.
He really is amazing. And he is so much more. Most people just know him from the show, but he really is so much more than that. I love his philosophy. I cannot wait. I'm really going to figure out how to get in contact with him, call him, and see
I
if
actually
I can.
agree with all of his stuff he said about education, even though as a teacher for 10 years, I talked to you about that. I think the education system is flawed and it's up to educators.
I
which is
use the F
super,
word
super-
too, but mine wasn't flawed.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what I did see? Did you see Elon Musk talk about how he started his own school for his kids because the education system is so flawed? So that
I did not see that, but there's also a Tesla dealership down the street. Should we walk to the Tesla dealership and see if we can get Elon to come in? He won't be there.
No, but
You know,
he
the-
said
what is
that he
that?
started his own school for his kids because the education system right now has kids like kind of in a box and they teach to their grade level or their age as opposed to their aptitude, abilities, and their interests. So his school has you learning based on your abilities and interests rather than you're in first grade, you learn this now. You're in second grade, you learn this now. So if someone is interested in mechanics, then they hone in on that and teach around
How to fix your toilet.
Right, exactly, same thing, which
When-
I
But
think
can
is
I
really
ask you
cool.
something? That
What?
sounds good. I'm asking you as a teacher.
Okay.
So that sounds like exactly what you and I talk about off camera. Because I'm saying like even normal math now doesn't really apply. Why don't kids learn about coding? Why don't kids learn about, but how can you individualize? Like how can you get the staff or the, like right now there's like every kid, assuming you're not homeschooling, it works out that there's going to be 20 to 30 kids in a class. How can you find each individual passion or acumen and teach to
The
that?
cream will always rise to the top, especially with kids. I think that kids will show their abilities,
But everybody has a different ability. How do you have the
But the cream shouldn't rise to the top because only that means like it's the kids that can fit in that box that are now
That is the problem.
Yeah.
Where all this standardized testing is stupid because maybe the cream, look at what he
is an exception, as are you.
figured
as
out.
are-
But what I'm saying is he figured out how to make hundreds of millions of dollars. He doesn't have a GED. Either do I. The point is there are people that did great in math. There are people that were the A students. There are the people that did the special classes. And they don't have hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't have a job. They don't know how to. So that cream of that class doesn't necessarily replicate what happens in life. But can you answer my question?
What? How do you do that? I think this education system is set up so that it's very, very, very difficult to do that. But as an educator, you have a set of standards that you're supposed to teach to. But if you can make it so that you find ways to teach smaller groups within your class, which is what I tried to do and is really, really, really difficult. So you're teaching based on their abilities and what their interests are, and you teach those standards with those interests and ability levels, then you should be able to do it. Like my classroom was always set up where I very, very, very rarely taught to a whole set of students, like a whole class. They were
Impressive.
broken up into groups of maybe 4. And so while they were doing
You miss it? Do you miss
Yeah.
teaching? Yeah.
Yeah. While they were doing individual centers, I was working with a group of 4 and they would always rotate and we were always learning
Let me
something
ask you this.
different.
If doctors are so fucking smart, why do they have to go to school for like 100 years?
Well, they're learning a specific set of skills.
Yeah. And if they're so smart,
Are they smart? Some doctors aren't that smart.
I think so. Just because of you realize that your whatever you do for a living doesn't make you smart. I think there's some
No.
really dumb people who are doctors.
yeah. Yeah.
Good conversation.
I don't know, but I agree with what Elon Musk is trying to do. And I feel like the education should somewhat be able to replicate that. I don't think they ever will. I don't think it's not going to happen.
No, we are this system moves too slow. It really does. And he said it best, Rob. It's antiquated. It really is. They are learning, how to keep the ham out of the burlap.
Well,
And they need to move on from that.
listen, I discovered
That was a
recently.
callback from the
I
beginning
know,
of
I
the,
just-
do you
Yeah.
remember that?
clicked, yeah.
Before Rob was here?
I recently discovered that I can hear the voices in other people's heads.
Did you rise to the top in school?
No.
No.
I was a shit disturber from day one.
Yeah.
That's all I was.
Yeah.
I don't recall ever studying, ever. I don't recall ever studying, and I never failed.
Aside from being able to read road signs
Yes.
and figure out how to pay your taxes, what from the regular public school system do you use in a day-to-day?
Well, there's certain habits. For example, you're not a reader. You don't like reading
I do read.
necessarily.
This morning on the way here, I saw the stop sign 4 times. I saw different. I read them all from beginning to
amazing.
end. Yield. I saw yield.
It makes you want to write. For example, I just finished writing. I started my diary yesterday, and I finished today. I finished it, and it's complete. That's it. I'm done.
If you finished a diary in one day, that's not a diary. That's a diarrhea. It just floated out of you so fast and so fluidly.
But I read. I think reading is something that is a habit that I got from going to.
What are you reading right now?
I haven't read a book in a long time.
That means you had teachers that were good teachers that instilled a love of learning.
But I'm saying that was a wonderful
You-
way of expanding your horizons by reading.
You just said it best. As my experience, and I don't think anybody was enjoying anything that they were teaching me.
Yeah.
It looked like everybody that was in the front of the class had this fucking job and couldn't wait till 3:30 to get home.
Is that what it felt like to you, really?
You felt like they were really, we talked about it. The best kind of teaching is what we call experiential teaching. If you're going to teach me math, if you're going to teach me 2 + 2, then they had in a school that we were looking for Jackie, what does that even mean to somebody? So you teach them you give them a little store. And they're going to buy some gum, and it costs you 5 pennies to buy the gum.
Okay, so
And if
make it
somebody else
practical.
wants the gum, then they got to give you 7 pennies. And now it's the 5 + the 2. It means something.
Right.
And then you know how that goes. How many people earn a living and have come up to me? I'm older now, so there's not so many, but when we were of the age, and they go, I want to buy a house. What can I afford? How do you not know what you can afford? Because they don't teach us economics. They don't teach us mortgages. They don't teach us percentages.
No, they
Or
don't.
even if you learn a percentage, it doesn't apply to
My
anything.
favorite percentage is 9.
I know.
Not 11?
9.
Oh.
No, 11. If you're gonna make a joke about 11, you start at 9.
Oh.
Work your way.
What are you
up.
sharing, Alex? You just showed Kyle something. I'm being distracted in the back. What did you just share with Kyle?
Nothing. Just keep working.
Alex is one of those people too, just like you, that didn't do well in school and is one of the smartest people. I
No,
know.
he did well in school. What was amazing about Alex, what was amazing about your brother, is he actually spoke to what Rob was speaking about. He figured out how to fuck with the system and make it best for him.
Oh my gosh.
And the best, what?
Can we talk about his assignment where his food where you
Right,
had
that's exactly what I was
Yeah.
going to talk about. So they were given, I don't know if it was in science or whatever. The project, Alex, are we correct? The project was for a week. They had to mark down their intake. How much protein, how much this and that, and how much energy they felt and what it made them feel like, and add the calories up to see whether they were going to have, I think it was in a health project, you know. And so everybody, and then they were going to give at the end of the week an oral presentation and with graphs and everything and show what they were going to do. And every kid had at least 7 to 10 pages worth of stuff because they had every meal they marked down. They figured out the caloric intake. They figured out how much of it was protein, how much of it was carbohydrates, how much of it, a huge and each kid would do that. And if I had more carbs in the morning, I had energy, and then I would drop off in the afternoon because I took too much sugar. And then and everybody came up and they talked, and it was this scientific dissertation by all these kids. And then they said, Alex Mandel, it is your turn to present your project. And he said, thank you. And he comes up and he goes, I'll be honest, I fasted all week and there's no intake and I feel terrible. Thank you.
And he got an A. Did you get an A?
The teacher called us and said,
Genius.
It was so fucking creative. How could I not reward this kid for this? And it was always that way. They would, on Parents' Night, it was a combination of embarrassing and joyous.
Off the old block.
Because they would tell us every time these stories about what he did and how he got away with shit. So he figured out how to use, that's something that Rob was talking about. It's a system, and you got to figure out how to flourish in that system. And the other thing that we were talking about, and we were talking about Alex, this is another thing. He is brilliant in math. You know that about your brother?
No. I'm the one that's brilliant in math.
No, you're the photographer. Jesus, you can't say anything nice about any of the siblings.
I
without
wrote the whole math program at the school that
You
I
did.
worked at.
No, you did.
I'm really good at math.
You're the
really
best.
good. You're really good
best
at math.
child.
Yeah,
he's
yes.
got. You're the
I
best.
love you. Okay. Anyway, no, but here was the problem. For whatever reason, he has this ability that if you give him a problem, a math problem, he can tell you the answer.
Wow.
And it's the way his mind works. Here's what the problem was. They would say at school, show your work. How did you get to that? You have to do that. You have to divide by 2. You carry this 1 over to the other side. He never showed it. There was no work.
Right.
He just knew it.
knew
If
it.
you ask him the question, he knows the answer.
Yeah.
He would get marked down for not showing his work.
Right.
And he would say, but Dad, if I got it right and I know what it is, and I can't even explain to you how I know what it is.
Interesting.
What is the
Why
benefit?
is that wrong? Why is that wrong?
Because you're not fitting into the system.
Yeah, but I think that at certain points, fitting into the system, trying to fit into the system, even if you're above the system, is a discipline that may come in handy in life.
That's true too, because you at some point have to figure out you can't just go on your own and do your own thing. You have to somehow figure out how to have a boss. I mean, you've worked for networks and have a boss and
You're
stuff,
right.
and you have to
You have
figure
to
out
learn
how
to work
to
within that system.
You're
fit
right.
in that box.
So there's
you know,
something to be said for both of them. So how do you do? Well, Alex has done fine.
He's doing great. Let me just tell you this. I went and saw a band the other night. Fucking amazing. They were called Margin of Error. I might be off a little bit on the title, but they were amazing.
So back to what you were talking about that project though in health class, I'll just say like as a young girl, like that really fucked me up.
What do you mean?
Because we had to do that like in middle school, I think, and I was like an athlete, volleyball player at the time, and we had to like do what Alex did and everything and like do our intakes, and then I realized like I'm consuming 2,500 calories a day, the same as the football player next to me. And so, like, I don't know, like, I talked to my volleyball coach about this and everything else. Like, it was kind of one of those things where, like, as a young girl, like, I didn't want to know that I was consuming as much as him.
Do you think that they still have those kind of? I mean, there's a lot more awareness now around eating disorders and mental health
There's
concerning.
too much awareness for too many things right now.
Well, again,
Yeah. But
concerning like
that's why ignorance is bliss.
yeah.
I know.
That's your line.
I know.
Do that
But
line.
ignorance. I don't know what that means, Howie, but I'm happy.
No, I'm sure they don't do that anymore. I'm sure at your school you went to, they don't even do that project anymore. For
Yeah,
that.
I don't
You know,
know.
but that's also we talk about that a lot in our home. You know, having 2 daughters and a son, and my wife will openly tell you that as a teenager she had an eating disorder, and which I don't think goes away, though she manages it right now.
I had no idea.
What?
I had no idea.
I tried to tell you, you just
Yeah,
don't
I
listen.
wouldn't listen. I would not listen.
You're a bad listener.
But it's just because that again is like school. You know, the system. When you're in the system, and the system, whether the system is what you should be looking like, what shape everybody should be, what is considered what should be good. There is no system. We're all individual. You know, I did.
Yes, we're all
I
individuals.
did Rick Glassman's "Take Your Shoes Off." I recorded it yesterday, and we were
Did you
talking
talk about me?
no, but it was so weird to be with him without any interruption. The whole time it was just him and me, and I just wasn't used to carrying on a conversation without some weird comment in the middle.
Which reminds me, if I might say, I just got a brand new pair of Spurs, and these ones, they don't jingle, jingle, jangle like the other ones.
You sound like you're gonna die. Is that a laugh? I can't
The
imagine.
humor creeps up on me with Lou. Like it slowly comes in. It's like confusion at first, and then like it sinks in.
And that's when you go to a club and you see Lou, that's what you hear. I mean, the audience will roar, but it's never like he finishes the sentence and there's a huge roar of laughter. He finishes the sentence and then it's like,
I look at my watch. Ad infinitum, per se, pro bono, carpe diem, de facto, etc. Example, quid pro quo. I'm just brushing up on my Latin.
Wait. I wanted to hear about your take your shoes off stuff. What were you saying?
that we talked about, and this is answering Caroline's question, like he was talking about what he was looking at for in his career and how he found that, it was really hard to fit into this thing and how he wanted to perfect his comedy to get on a Netflix special and things like that. And I said, like, whether it's your career, whether it's your body, whether it's your looks, whether it's your, we all look to other people. This is what you have to do. This is what you got. And each one of us needs to celebrate our originality, even in our art, in our bodies, in our looks. And until we respect who we are ourselves, like we don't give ourselves self-respect because you look at somebody else and you go, oh, I don't look like her.
I don't look like a lot of women.
You know what's weird?
Yeah.
You do.
Oh.
You do. And that's probably why my son is still single.
Oh, Dad.
What? Is that a bad thing to say?
Oh.
No.
No. He
No.
says no. Lou says
No,
no.
Lou says no.
Yeah.
Lou, but Lou,
And he's the gauge. What's appropriate and what's not.
no, but there's nothing wrong with looking like a woman that looks
No.
like Lou.
If you're a woman that looks like me, you should be the happiest woman on the planet.
Why?
Because you look like me. And I don't want to brag, but one time I counted my chickens before they hatched, and I was only off by 2.
So how many did you have?
2 more than...
Then he counted. He
Yes.
doesn't remember the exact
11
number.
instead of 9?
It was about 14 this time.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to count before the hatch because they're hiding in the shell.
You got to make an guesstimation.
Yeah, but my point is, on a
Estimation.
serious note, is if you are different, if you are a different shape, if you think of things differently, that is the goal. You don't want to be like anybody else. People who are like, as Bill Burr said, I don't know that he coined the phrase, but he said it last week, sheeple.
I said it first.
Yeah, sheeple's been around for a while. Bill Burr may be a genius, but sheeple is not his line.
I know.
Right, Jeremy? Jeremy edits it. I said it first.
Bill Burr loves me.
You said it before. and
I
then-
said it before, and then he did sheeple with quotes, but I didn't come up with it. A lot of people say that.
I left with a 1.
Well, everybody says it because you're all sheeple.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, but the point being is that we have to learn self-respect, and we would be happy people. Healthy, happy people.
Do you,
Caroline, does that ring a bell? Does that sound correct?
No, I agree completely. And I
do
think
you
that
honestly think
he
that
can't hear
people
me.
Lou
are
has no
not
idea. This is
themselves?
why it was so hard to sit out there, too,
Why?
behind the glass, because Lou
He
doesn't
can't
wear
hear us.
headphones, so he can't hear when.
I don't want to mess up my hair, but do
I know,
you
but
honestly
Caroline
think
was talking.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
do you honestly feel that people, as they grow up, are not who they are?
I don't think that's what I said, but
No, what do
I
you-
think everybody is who they are.
No, what I don't.
And you know what? They are also where they are.
When they're there,
And when they leave, they're gone. I don't understand the question.
I thought you said that if everybody would just be original, right?
No, respect their originality.
Right.
Nobody is like anybody else.
But you're saying they're so self-conscious of
Trying to be like somebody else,
ah.
or like they believe society thinks they would
I
have
think
to.
at certain ages there's peer pressure, and we all try to be like.
There's
the
always
cool,
peer pressure.
cool people.
No.
Rick Glassman said that too. Like he looks at himself and he's like, "Oh, I want people to be like, oh, he's easy." Like, when he looks back on himself.
Yeah, right.
And he was talking about how he wants to be perceived as like easygoing and easy to talk to. And
Why are
he's
you
too
worried about
hyper.
everybody's perception? It's your own perception of yourself. If you're comfortable in your own shoes, and nobody is, because media, whether it be social media, television, film, projects. It's really funny because if you look up, you who has taken us back 3 centuries today, but if you look in the 1920s or and you go sexy women of the 20s,
Yes.
they don't look like anybody that you would maybe consider sexy today.
No.
Right.
Unless
So,
you had a few
so
drinks.
that society is drifting and changing and telling people what is sexy. But what's sexy to one person maybe it not be sexy to another person. And maybe even being sexy isn't even important. What I'm saying is you have to celebrate yourself all the time. And I think who you are and what you are and how you look is something. And if you don't have any respect for yourself, you'll have even less respect for others. So I think happiness and respect has to come from within. And on that note, I'd like to end this podcast because that I think is a gem. I'm never going to top it. It's fucking brilliant.
Shiny.
I love what I just said. I am actually going to end this podcast now, and I'm going to put in a review. I love what I just did. I love who I am, and I'm going to subscribe again to myself. If you will not build a subscription, if you will not review it, I'm going to do it one review at a time. Do you agree with me?
Yeah. No, well, you can ask them also for a review and to subscribe and stuff. Or
I was
you're just
supposed to.
doing it yourself.
I was, and I thought that was a perfect cue to end the show, and she missed it.
Caroline missed it.
Okay.
You can go now.
Waiting for Jackie, but okay,
No,
bye.
Go ahead.
Is that good?
No, that was
very
great.
generous, and both of you were very generous to allow me to.
I think that's a good episode.
I do too.